Happy hump day, everyone. Golf starts tomorrow, which means the weekend starts tomorrow. That's the rule here. Golf's going to end on Saturday, which is nice. It won't interfere with the NFL Conference Championship, which should get more people gambling on it. So we have to talk about it here. I have Sam Wagman from the Game Day with me. What's up, Sam?
I'm doing well. It's a day earlier than we usually get to do this. So I'm pumped because the weekend begins on Wednesday this week.
Yes, it's awesome. We're headed to Torrey Pines, one of my favorite tournaments, actually, the Farmers Insurance Tournament here. Something weird has happened with the first three events. We've had Kirk win at 200 to 1, Murray win at 400 to 1. Then we had an amateur 20-year-old college student who won, didn't get a single dollar at 300 to 1. All of these were big-time birdie fests, not going to be the case probably this week. But the chaos that's going to erupt if another long shot like this wins is going to be wild.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I could see it happening here at Torrey Pines of all courses, but it would be for the betterment of golf betting if it didn't happen this week and we got back to some normality.
Yeah, I cannot even imagine here. Max Homa is the defending champion. Tried to narrow it down, just made a post-it note of the things that I was looking for this week. The notes are not hitting irons well equals toast, putting, especially from 15 feet, and driving distance with accuracy. What else would you add to that?
Yeah, so I mean, look, when we look at Torrey Pines, we see a really long golf course. We're just over 7,700 yards here, and this kind of sets up more like a major championship track than it does, a run-of-the-mill PGA Tour event, which means anybody who's not hitting their driver well and is not able to stay in the fairway is going to be in a lot of trouble. It's been pouring all week in California at Torrey Pines. That rough is going to be really long. It's already long. It's already really penal off to the side of the fairway. So if you're in the rough, you better be able to scramble from out of there, else you're going to be in a lot of trouble. POA grass on both greens, some bent grass on the North Course greens as well with that POA mix. So, going to be looking at POA putters, a little bit of the change from Bermuda style that we've seen these first couple of weeks. But outside of that, you want to look at, bogey avoidance. Obviously, any major championship style track will have that. And then obviously opportunities gained. So, how often can you get on the green regulation with a solid chance to gain strokes?
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the top of the board, and Xander will be part of our Smash or Pass, so we won't talk about him too much. He's plus 900, not exactly a sexy number, to be completely honest. So excited to see your take on that. Other than that, we've got Cantlay and Kawa at 11 to 1, Homa at 12 to 1, Minwoo and Aberg at 20 to 1. Are any of those attractive to you outside of Xander?
Yeah, I mean, I have to understand, or I have to really, admit that I looked hard at Minwoo Lee. He's been very, very fun to watch. I know you were kind of in on him to start the week. I don't know if you've stayed in on him as the week has gone along, but definitely an intriguing, guy to look at there. He's been playing well so far this season. First time, playing this tournament with a PGA Tour card for him. So it'll be really interesting to see how he goes out there. One of the longer guys on tour.
Yeah, I think I am out on Aberg for the time being. I just don't see the value right now. It's giving Tom Kim from last season. So I just need a break from that. Not that I bet him this season. I know we've talked about it quite a bit. I'm just going to take it easy on him for a little. I need to see where he falls in these next tournaments. We'll get right into Smash or Pass. Mentioned that Xander was going to be one of them. He is. Smash or Pass, Xander at them.
Or Pass.
Yeah, this is going to be a smash for me. And one of the guys I've really kind of written down, I got a list of 3 or 4 guys I really wanted to look at for one and done this week. And Xander is definitely one of them because, we talk about Xander as a guy who's pretty much a lock for top 10 nearly every single week. I know those words have come straight out of your mouth multiple times this week with him, but he doesn't really fit at any one course. So the logic here for me is that at a really much harder course like Torrey Pines, that's not an elevated event, that's not a major, and that where we don't have a bunch of the upper echelon guys in the field, why not bet on Xander to kind of put it all together at a really difficult course, and a course that he's really familiar with here. He's got a runner-up finish here. He's got a T13 from last year. He does have 4 missed cuts here in his career, but I'm not too worried about those. They came really early on in his career as well, and hasn't missed a cut in 4 or 5 years here. He's first in strokes gained on Poa greens across his last 24 rounds, nearly 25 strokes gained there on approach as well. So, I mean, he just absolutely kills. He's one of those guys you really trust with his irons. It's all about whether it's working for him off the tee, and that's going to be a huge thing for him this week.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm sorry, Sam. I can't do it. I bet him top 10. He's an auto top 10. We're going to see how many units we're up betting him top 10 the entire season, but he's done nothing to show me that he's going to win. Like, he's always going to be contending. I can't do it at plus 900, but I understand why. There's also like this little bit of hometown narrative that you can pull out of there. He has multiple top 15 finishes over the last 5 years, like you alluded to. I'm going to be pissed because I know the week I don't bet Xander, because I bet him so frequently. I know the week I don't bet him is going to be one of the weeks that he wins. I'm just out this week.
Yeah, he's a really polarizing guy because he, like you said, he's one of those guys that does not go out there and win frequently, though he's always top of models. He's always, right there, in terms of who should win, but it just never puts together. He always has one down day that kind of puts him out of contention where he shoots, close to average or he shoots below average, and it pretty much screws him. And then he makes a late Sunday charge up the leaderboard to finish in like 3rd or 4th place. It happens nearly every single week, which makes him a great one and done pick, I kind of guess, because he does it so often. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it at a tournament where he doesn't have a lot of competition. So that's kind of my logic here, but it just feels, I don't know. It's a short card for me this week. It's a really ugly board. Not a lot of guys. It's not a lot of guys there I considered to win outright this week, and so I might as well take the top guy of the 3 short favorites that I looked at.
And another guy that we spoke briefly about, because I know you're in a group for one and dones. This is a guy that you were like, I'm just not doing it. But smash or pass, Keegan Bradley, top 20, plus 163.
Yeah, that's a weird one for me. I passed on this. I can't get behind it. I've become a little more in favor of Keegan over the last couple hours that I looked, and the group was pleading with me to please get on board with it. But I don't know. It's something about it. He hasn't played well in these tough courses lately. He's just struggled a little bit here and there. But I want to hear from you why you're in on him this week.
Okay, so I was out on him. I was out on him when we initially talked. And then I'm like, all right, let me just sit down, look at some numbers, think about it a little bit. I think he's someone that I constantly overlook, even though, he has a major win, like has a win the last 2 years. He's just not the sexiest option for some reason. No. His odds are never that attractive. I think that's where I settled on this top 20 here. He didn't play last week after losing in a playoff at Sony. Sony was his 4th top 20 in the last 5. He gained 4.1 strokes on approach the last time we saw him. His distance is probably what makes him a little bit more attractive. I'm not getting there at an outright. I'm not doing it. Right. I won't get there. I know he is a little bit popular this week. I think a top 20 is a very happy medium, and you're going to see, at least with my final card, I have a lot of these like finishing position type bets on my card. He's averaged more than 10 yards on the field over the last 10 starts. He's also gaining on approach in those starts. So I think there's things to like. Do I think he's going to contend and win? No. That's why I didn't get there with the outright, but I do like him top 20. That's where I can settle. Like, I'm not using him as a one and done this week, but I think I can get there.
I think the number is fine, 28-1, in this field. I think the number is perfectly fair. I don't think he's overpriced or anything like that. I don't buy that he can get it all the way done. Like you said, it's very difficult for me to believe that, so much has to go right for him. He has to really, really be dialed on approach, because otherwise it's all going to fall apart for him, because his putting has not been great lately. We've seen. So that's always where it ends to fall apart for him.
Yeah, and he's probably going to finish top 30 instead is what's going to happen. Okay,
Yep.
another top 20 here, a guy that I do not bet a lot, but is a absolute darling in the space. Morikawa, top 20, minus 130, smash or pass.
Yeah, this is another pass for me. And
Okay.
it's a little bit of a surprising one because we've seen everybody on Colin Morikawa this week. And it makes sense that the reason why I'm off him is because it just makes too much sense that he's going to be great. And it all starts with his short game for me. And on a course where you're going to need your short game to be at your absolute best, Morikawa has not been great recently. Just not great around the greens. His scrambling was under 50% here last year, was a sharp drop off from the rest of the guys in the top 20 here. You had Morikawa at 47%, and then the next closest person in the top 10 was at 57%. So a sharp 10% difference there. And then another number that stuck out to me was how good he was off the tee. His driving accuracy was at 78%, and the only person to come close to that number in the top 10 was Jason Day, who clocked in at 66%. So I have to wonder, was that a fluke? Did he get there, simply because he had an out-of-body experience off the tee that week? Despite how good he normally is off the tee, I just don't know. He's not one of the longer guys in this field. His game will be completely determined by his iron play and how good he is, with his long irons, which he normally is good with. But if they're not pinpoint, I'm not so sure that he can get there. And you're laying money with this minus 130. So it's a little bit of a stretch for me to get there with Morikawa at top 20. And he's going to be nowhere near my outright card.
Yeah. He's never near my outright card. He is a very frustrating player to me. I think he can win almost any week. I think if you're going to take Morikawa, I'm not taking him top 20. I'm probably just shooting for the moon and going top 5 type thing, because I don't think you're getting any value here. So I'm with you on that. Next one, smash or pass, Theegala, top 20 plus 175.
Love it. Obviously one of my first clicks this week was Theegala at 45-1. He's since dropped to 30-1, which is a really sharp adjustment on the field. I have a feeling he's going to be really, really popular this week as well. But I absolutely love Theegala here. He fits really well. Obviously, he's from the area, went to Pepperdine, has grown up, in Southern California. He's been around there his whole life. So he's really used to these POA-style greens here. Finished 4th here last year, played really, really well. And he shows up really well at these tough tracks that seem to suit his game a lot better. So, we haven't really seen him play really well at other tracks that, he's not really a fully consistent player. He really just shows up at the tracks that work best for his game. And he's elite at scrambling out of the rough, which is not going to be, a problem for me here, getting behind him there. And then he might be following Max Homa. Homa won the Fortinet in 2022 fall and then went on to win this event here. And Sahith won the Fortinet in 2023 fall. Might be following in his footsteps here. It wouldn't be the most outlandish thing we've seen here. He also is really good at these longer par 4s, which, are populating Torrey Pines. You got 7 of those between 450 and 500-yard par 4s. Theegala ranks 5th in strokes gained on those par 4s as well. So I'm really in on Theegala this week. It may just be a flash in the pan, but I'm willing to buy it, and especially at a great number that I got it at.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will give a little teaser. This is my dad bet of the week, Theegala at top 20. He's also, it's something that I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about. He's no longer like hemorrhaging strokes off the tee, which was a huge struggle for him.
Oh yeah.
That probably right there is where I get a little bit nervous with the outright. But like you said, he does play really well on these difficult courses, which is why I've always said, I think that his next win is going to come at a major, because he tends to do well in these type of situations. His ball striking is strong. No one has been better scrambling than him in the last 6 months. He's first in strokes gained around the green. So I really like him here. I also kind of like him first round leader, 35-1. And I don't think I would talk anyone out of a top 5 bet, but as far as dad goes, I am taking him for that top 20.
Yeah, I actually consider this to be my dad bet top 20 as well, because it's just a great number that you're getting
Yeah,
at a guy who's really starting to reach, one of his prime years of his career. And he's looked really good. There was a time where he couldn't buy a birdie. That's changed. He ranks ninth and birdies are better gained this year. I really love it. Like you said, the whole thing will be him being able to keep the ball straight off the tee, not just push it left or right. That's really plagued him in the past. But like I said, he's elite at scrambling out of the rough as well, which really helps him here.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next one here, smash or pass. Harris English top 30 plus 115. This is not exactly who you think of right away when you think long and difficult, but where are you at with Harris English?
Yeah, I went a little out of the box with this one and really, really loved Harris English when I realized that scrambling, which obviously if you've been here the entire show, scrambling is a huge thing for me this week. I really want guys who are going to be able to not only get out of the rough from the fairway, but get up and down from around the green on these really small green complexes, getting it close to the hole. Harris English ranks first in this field in strokes gained scrambling his last 24 rounds, which was a massive draw to me. And despite missing the cut here last year, he's a really good play on this course. Two strong top 15 finishes so far in 2024. So he's in some nice form here, closed out last year well. And then he has a decent run recently on hard courses. Two of the comp courses here that we looked at, obviously, like we said, a lot of major tracks. Olympia Fields, for host of the BMW Championship last year, and LACC, host of the US Open last year. He finished T8 at LACC and T10 at the BMW Championship. So both of those are comp courses here for me that I've looked at. Both have, really strong US Open tracks, lots of Pinot Rough, long courses. I love Harris English. Guys, very long off the tee. Very good player here as well. So ranks really well across the board in a lot of those metrics for me that I'm looking at this week. So Harris English, T30, one of my favorite bets, was runner-up to be my dad bet.
I love it. Yeah, I think I would even take a shot at him top 20 plus 200 because he is in really good form, solid course history. Like you said, he's on my season-long team, so he supports my narrative that I'll be pushing here. He rated out really well in my model also this week, and a strength for him is putting. So I think that he could fare well here. I think he could get himself into contention. Not going to get there at an outright, but I think that top 30 plus 115, I have already tailed you on that. Before we get into our triple Ds, is there anyone else that you want to mention?
Nah, I will say, we haven't really touched on Max Homa yet. It's going to be really interesting to see how he does coming off the win here last year. He played all right at the Century. Didn't really stand out too much there. So it'll be really interesting to see how he comes into this California swing as well. And I'll be really interested to see if he made any of your triple Ds.
He did not, which I think is surprising. I will start off with the triple Ds. My dad bet, like I mentioned, is Theegala top 20. Who do you have for your dad bet?
So my dad bet is someone that I will continue to go back to time and time again until he lets me down. It is Sung J.M. It's always Sung J.M.
Okay.
Love my guy Sung J.M. here. Top 20,
I like it.
Plus 115. Fourth in strokes gained at Torrey Pines over his last 24 rounds. And he obviously has a T4 and T6 those last 2 years here. And then he's elite in nearly every single metric here. And, it wouldn't surprise me. Torrey Pines wants all the well-rounded golfers. And Sungjae definitely fits that criteria. 6th in birdies are better gained, top 30 in bogey avoidance, 12th in strokes gained putting. Does really well on those longer par fives, top 20 in 200 plus proximity. So I'm really not worried in anything from him. The one thing that'll worry me is his ability to get up and down from off the green. That's kind of eluded him at some points recently. So that'll be an interesting thing for him. But other than that, I think this is a perfect track for him. I think you're getting a nice plus money number here. I wouldn't have taken this if this was not plus money. So the fact that it snuck right in at plus 115 when he's one of the stronger players in this field, definitely really like that as well.
He gets easily overlooked, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Not one of these like super sexy names the last couple years, but has proven success on tour. I like him top 10 as well. I did place that bet actually before we got on here. So I like it. He's like, you don't know what you're going to get from him. So at any point, he could be in contention. So I love that. Who is your dog this week? And I mentioned to you before we came on, I was listen, it's my show. So I set the structure, but I decided I'm boycotting a dog. I came up with something, but I think we need to manifest there not being a dog winner this week. But who did you have?
Yeah, so I told you that I wasn't going to have anybody over 70-1 on my card this week. And I stayed right under that number. And I took Shane Lowry at 65-1. Remember, I told you.
Okay, interesting. Talk to me about Shane Lowry because he rated out kind of well for me.
Remember, I told you this would be a little bit out of the box for me this week. It's definitely not a pick that I tend to take on courses like this. I know. And I said it's someone I don't think you like that much. I can't remember you ever talking to me about Shane Lowry, but I love Shane Lowry here. He's a terrific ball striker. He's great at scrambling here, and his putting on Poa greens is top tier. So I'm really not worried about it here. He ranks 6th in my model this week, and he's got great comp course history at this track, or on these harder tracks. T20 at the U.S. Open last year, Memorial, T16, T12 at the PGA Championship, T14 at Genesis. So he really does play well here, and he has a T7 and a T13 in his career here, despite the fact that he hasn't played this tournament in nearly 5 years. So I really like Lowry here. He's out of the box. He's a guy that I'm not going to take as much on tournaments that are more birdie fest because he doesn't birdie that as much as some of the other guys. He's more methodical. He's more, takes his time a little bit, but he doesn't bogey that much. I really like his all-around game here. Really works well for him. He's got very nice off the tee skills. And then, so it really works out for me. I've had a couple close misses with Lowry in the past couple of years, and I'm ready to have another one here with him.
Yeah, I think for him, he kind of falls into this, like, my tantrum boys that I don't bet on that are on the no bet list as far as Rahm.
So it's like every European for you.
Yeah. They just he can lose his composure at any moment. And I fucking hate golfers like that. Like, just not a fan of these Matt Wolff, snapping clubs over their knee. And so he usually falls into that. I think I could get behind a top 20 at plus 260 because I think another guy that's getting overlooked, is in decent form. So I like it. I don't hate it at all. For my dog, I'm just giving out a first round leader. This is a guy that you may not even see going into towards the end of the week. I'm not going to say weekend because it ends on Saturday, but Callum Tarrant, 60-1 first round leader, always finds himself there somehow. And then you'll get driving distance. He's a great example of that. The poster boy of driving distance. He's not going to do jack shit the rest of the time, but could I see him finish top 5 or first round leader? I absolutely could. So that's where I'm settling on dog, because I don't want to give out too short of a dog. I know there's a lot of debate on what that is.
Yeah, I mean, I view anything over 50-1 a dog. So, yeah. And like I said, I did not want to get too deep. I'm definitely going to put him on my FRL card as well, alongside Xander, who always lands himself on my FRL card. Yeah. I mean, I kind of love it. Tarrant has a reputation of really just getting there in these events. And I don't think he ranked that low in my model either. I mean, he does kind of fit the against the grain look. Yeah, he ranks. He's in the mid 60s in my model, which is not bad at all. Good proximity from 150 to 175.
Exactly.
Mid tier bogey avoidance, 200 plus proximity, ball striking, and off the tee. So only issues are putting and scrambling. So if he can get there around the greens, he's good in my book.
Yeah, I can't promise you guys it's a good bet, but it is fun, and he's always in there. If you can find a top 5 after the first round, that's always a good look for him. And then you're done bet. What are you looking at?
Yeah, so my done bet, kind of already talked about it. We've been all over Theegala in this show. He is my done bet
Okay.
that I got there at 45-1. Really love him there as well. I also could highlight Jason Day as
That's
well,
mine.
who really came out for me on this on this course as one of my first clicks. And he's obviously a 2-time winner here. He's got some great history at this course. Second in strokes gained total at this course in his last 24 rounds. He's had a solid start this year, a 10th place and a 34th place finish in the last couple weeks. And then he putts the ball really well in these POA greens as well. So, a nice methodical game is going to win this tournament. Day is as good as anybody at that. His number has dropped a little bit from where I got it at. I originally got it at 35-1. It's now, I think, down to 25-1, but I think there's still a couple 30s out there, possibly FanDuel. But I really like Day as well. He could easily go out and win this event, provided he doesn't make too many mistakes. He doesn't tend to. He can make them at inopportune times, but he also has the ability to birdie like almost nobody else that's playing this week. So really like him and Theegala.
Yep. My done is Day. There was a 28-1 early in the week. You had to be very fast if you got in on that. The 25-1 is still out there, though, so that hasn't moved. He won in 2018, 2015. He's also on this new resurgence, has this new swag with the new sponsor. I like the look. I'm into the vintage look.
It's too baggy, man.
I
remember.
It's awesome. It's so cool. It's like, I've been trying to tell people the style now, like this year in 2024, is electric grandpa. And that's what he's giving. It's giving electric grandpa. I love it. He has 2 top 10s the last 2 years, 4 total top 10s here. Top 10 in total strokes gained the last 6 months. He's contended here in shit form, and he's not in shit form. He's in great form. And like you said, he putts extremely well here. So I think I talked myself into him being first round leader as well. But my done bet is Jason Day, 25-1.
Yeah, I like it. I can easily get on board with it.
I love it. The rest of my card will be out on Picket. Let everyone know where they can find you, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, the majority of my card will also be on Picket as well, but I'll tweet it out at some point tonight. And then obviously you can find my props article that I put every week out on the game day that is being finished this afternoon. But yes, you can find me on Twitter at Swagman95 down right below there.
Yeah.
Nice and neat. And then obviously, thank you for having me as always. And looking forward to getting this every weekend.
All right, let's do it. All right, I will catch you later.
Thank you.
See ya. And then we'll let producer Ryan jump on.
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, not much. Just learning about golf.
Look at you learning about. You're a better golfer than me, so.
I do like playing golf. I haven't been betting a lot of golf in a while, so I'm getting back into it. Excited. Really excited.
Love it. Do we have any questions before we wrap out of here?
We do. We have some questions. Let's see. This is from Sports Gambling Podcast.
Yeah.
Why do I love Jason Day so much this week? You already talked about this a little bit, but give us a couple more beats on that.
You love him so much because he is going to be daddy this week, which Spencer Aguiar would be very proud that we're talking about him. Kind of like I just mentioned, he's just having this new resurgence. He's got electric grandpa swag now, which is in 2024 with his new sponsor. And he's just, he's contended here in shit form. He's not in shit form. He's in really great form, and putting's super important here. And he has putted extremely well here. So we are all in on Jason Day.
Excellent. Question 2. Why aren't you at PGA show and among the first time rookies in the field who can actually win this week? That's from Savannah Lee.
Yeah. You guys have not seen me golf, so it's very sweet, but I am not that good yet. I was just saying I really need to take a lesson before the season opens up again.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be too cold to golf there right now, though.
Yeah, I can't golf for a while, but that's why you take lessons so you prepare. Maybe I'll get my putting mat out today.
Okay, yeah. So among the first-time rookies in the field, who can actually win this week?
I don't know. I haven't even taken a look at that, my guys. NFL is still on, so I haven't even looked.
Okay. Sorry, Savannah Lee. Have not
Sorry.
looked.
Love ya.
From Jackson D. Villains, are you coming to Florida for TPC? Need to let Sawgrass know to stock up on claws, more like on high noons.
Yeah, one or the other.
Clearly not that much of a fan if he doesn't know your drink.
No, I know. Well, in fairness, I used to be a claw girl, and I'm not anymore. Also, for the damp January is going very well, and I feel like no one's giving me enough credit because I really have not been drinking that much, which is like really fucking awesome
great.
for me. I am not planning on going to Florida for that, like, at any point in the near future. Florida is like not my favorite place in the world. I'm going to be completely honest with everyone.
Ooh, burn on Florida.
It's just not my vibe. Like, I'm not a Florida girl. Like, I don't know if that makes, I feel like families, like growing up on the East Coast, like you either went to Maine or like the Cape or you went to Florida. And I just wasn't raised a Florida kid.
You were going to the Cape?
No, I was going to Maine. Like there's like 3
Oh,
levels.
Maine
There's, like,
or
levels.
okay.
Yeah. Or you were like the family that went to like Mexico or did like tropical vacation. Like I was a Maine kid, so I didn't like I don't get the Florida thing. It's not my vibe.
Right.
That's all.
All good. And then you went to Arizona, which is the Florida of the Southwest, I like to call it. So
is it?
Totally. I mean,
kind of, yeah,
when you look at, I feel like we have almost as much weird news as Florida has.
Yeah, you too. Like,
and it's mostly retirees. Retirees and white trash is mostly.
You know what's hilarious is one of the first things someone told me about Arizona before we get out of here. Just quick story. If you get a chance, Google Tent City. And I just remember someone telling me that if you got a DUI in Arizona, they made you wear a pink jumpsuit and they threw you in the middle.
Sheriff Joe Arpaio made a pink jumpsuit, made Tent City, which was just out in the desert. It was just like going for your DUI. You would just have to sit in tents out in the desert. Yeah, that's a true thing. And I had plenty of friends who had to go to Tent City. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And some then I heard with college students, sometimes like they would let you, like they would pick you up at the end of the school week, drop you off at Tent City, pick you up to go back to school. Like there was a lot. Yeah. Arizona is definitely weird. I always say there's really no rules there. Like they kind of just make them up as they go and nothing really makes sense.
That's why
it's bizarre. I miss it. Honestly, I miss it. I gotta get back there. Yeah, I absolutely love it. We will be back on Friday. No Money's Moon Off. No Ryan. Not sure who I'm going to have on yet, but I will have player props for everyone.
Wait, Money's Moon Off is not going to be on Friday?
No.
He can't be. Oh, man.
I know.
And I can't be here because I'm going to be driving to LA for a wedding. Yeah, bummer. Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
It'll be fun. Maybe Ben Carey or someone. I'll find someone to do player props with me. We'll have those on Friday. This will not be a podcast, so everyone's going to have to find this episode. The Tuesday episode will maybe next week because the tournament starts tomorrow. So no podcast for this tonight.
No podcast. Oh, that's less work for me. I don't have to put this up.
There you go. Perfect. All right. We will see you. Well, I will see you guys on Friday. Talk to you soon.
Watch him make it, break it, break it, break it.